Okay, so we are back. Happy New Year. And like that, Yom Kippur is behind us. We're showing Yom Kippur behind us. Here we are. Ready to Sukkot. Excited. And pretty happy. Everyone's excited. We finish the sad part, or the serious part actually, and we go into a happy Chag. Unless you have to kind of build a sukkah by yourself in the heat, then you're not happy yet. You're still in the sad and serious part. Be that as it may, we have interesting at Yonah. Yonah comes up. Actually, we read Yonah, and Yonah has a great tie into Sukkot, and most people don't know this. How do you know it? Well, that's a good question. Last year, our fancy Kinim Masechta guys, we were learning Sukkah. Some Space Ava talking about, and whether I saw this in the art scroll or something, and it kind of led me to look at there's a Tosfos on Nun on Bays, and has really a bombshell. I think a stick of bombshell that Yonah ben Amitai. I'm dirty. I just went biking. A little dirt. Sorry. Yonah ben Amitai got his nevuah from Simchas Beis She'eva. Okay, that's great. He became a navi. Simchas She'eva. Everyone's happy. They say if you haven't seen Simchas She'eva in your whole life, you haven't seen happiness. But Akadei Kach, our famous Yonah with the fish, that guy, he gets his nevuah from being that Simchas Beis She'eva. Okay, fantastic. And it got me to think, very interesting how there's one connection. Connection is water. Simchas Beis She'eva is you see water for the first time. You see water being poured on the Mizbeach. Maybe it was for the first time, but the Simcha, usually the whole year, is wine. Wine's poured. But once a year, just Sukkot time, they pour water at the same time as the wine, and it goes in, and everyone goes bananas, and they're partying, and there's people juggling, and everyone's dancing, and fantastic. And everyone's, what does that mean? And we're happy with water. We're happy with what Hashem gives us. Ma'im is Torah. We're happy with the small things. We don't need wine. Well, sometimes we do. We don't need all these great things. Really, we need water. Let's be honest. You can survive without wine, without beer. We could survive a shtickle or iced tea. Without water, crops, you can't have wine if there's no water to irrigate. Water is water. Everyone knows what water is. And you can't go a day or two without looking at the news where some countries don't have water. There's droughts. Forget about the countries. United States. We were there a couple months ago. Barely rained in New York, California. There's droughts. There's just water, water, water. So we pour water and we daven that hopefully on Yom Kippur we daven that we should have water. And this simcha is what really gave Yonah ben Amitai this nevuah. This is what did it. And Yerushalmi mentions this, and the Tosfos quotes this Yerushalmi that Yonah ben Amitai got water. And I said last year, it's so interesting that he gets nevuah from water, and he's almost killed by water. He's almost drowned in the water. The same method, the same vehicle that gets him to Hashem, close to Hashem to get nevuah, is actually almost his downfall. So this idea is, I think, really plays a really big part in this parsha. Hazina Shema B'Deveira. This is Imre Fi. The heavens should testify. The earth should testify. The heck does that mean? And we look a little bit deeper. Obviously, the world can't testify. The water can't testify. What does it even mean? So all of the Mepharshim talk about that if the Jews are worthy, rain. If the Jews are worthy, the ground will give its produce. The ground and the sky does what Hashem wants. There's no teva. I mean, there's teva. There's no outside forces. It's all from Hashem. And as much as we think these things, okay, it rains here, it does rain here, that's their problem. It doesn't rain in Israel, it's an Israeli problem. It doesn't rain in Brooklyn, it's their problem. It's all our problem. It's all our problem. If your tefillos worked, let's look at the year. Look back. Did we have food last year? Did prices go up? Was there inflation? Was there plenty of food to go around? Did we have plenty of water? Could we have enough water to water that's really what we daven for. We daven for the earth to do its thing and the sky to do its thing. And it only does its thing if we deserve it. Actually, it does its thing whether we deserve it or not. So if we deserve it, there's water and there's produce. And we don't deserve it, there's storms, there's earthquakes and things like that. And that's if we don't deserve good things. And this is kind of really what all of our Mepharshim talk about, that the Shemayim Haaretz, they're testifying. How are they testifying? You see what they're doing. If they're producing properly, that means we're following Hashem. We're doing what we're supposed to. If they don't, it's because Hashem is telling them not to do these things and to kind of act weird and things like that. And this is kind of really what the tie-in. Yonah ben Amittai, happiness, gets from water, and is close to Hashem. And then when he doesn't want to do what Hashem wants, the water goes against him. The water goes against him. And he has this really interesting idea, which never hit me until yesterday. We all know the lesson of Yom Amitai. He doesn't want to give the prophecy over to the people of Nineveh. And he goes in the boat, and the lesson is, well, they deserve it. They deserve a shot at Teshuva too. Hashem cares about the kikon. Hashem cares about the tree. Hashem cares about everybody, even the animals. Hashem cares about the goyim. Hashem cares about everybody. Hashem doesn't want non-Jews to suffer. Oh, only Jews? No, Hashem doesn't want anyone to suffer. So it's not. So this is a lesson that Hashem cares about even the goyim, and it should be a lesson that the Jewish people, unfortunately, they don't look at the lesson, and the Assyrians destroy the base of Mikdash, which is kind of the next piece. But there's an interesting nevuah, is an interesting word and tefillah that's in the as Yonah is in the fish, which I guess every year they say it, but I kind of was kind of spacing it every year. But Mispal. So Yonah's in the fish for 3 days, and one of the funnier moments usually I have in Yom Kippur, or the funniest, is the art. You have an art scroll. If you look at when it says Yonah's in the fish 3 days, there's a little note on the bottom that says that being in the fish was a miracle, because one usually cannot survive in a fish for 3 days. And I always thought that was funny. I'm like, how does the art scroll know that? Usually can't be in a fish for 3 days. Like it happens. Like there's reports. Oh, 9 out of 10 people die in a fish. And the answer is there's no oxygen. So that's why you can't really survive in a fish, because you're kind of in a fish and there's no oxygen. It's not like you're like Pinocchio or someone. You're in a fish and like this cartoons. It's a huge thing. No, you're trapped in a fish. It's kind of Hashem made a miracle. So here Yonah was thinking, and Yonah says, "Bachicheyu b'tzula b'vav levam." I was in the heart of the thing, and I was down. I thought it was all over, and I couldn't. And he says, I'm davening. I wouldn't be able to get home, see Eretz Yisrael, see Yerushalayim. Hashem remembered me. Hashem remembered my tefillah to Beis Hamikdash, and Hashem saved me by being in the fish. So most people, they're in a bad matzah, and you think, oh, this is terrible. But it was actually a miracle that he survived 3 days and was able to daven to Hashem in the fish. And what's interesting, he had the wherewithal to have this great line, which again, he said every year, maybe people know this, I guess I never saw it, a little embarrassing. Mishamrim havlishav chazdum yazovu. Mishamrim havlishav chazdum yazovu. Those people who worship, cling to havlishav, empty things, you forsake mercy. You forsake the mercy of Hashem. And kind of what does that mean? What does that even mean? And all the is different Mefarshim. Rashi says, talking about people who serve by Zara. You serve by Zara, Havli Shav, then you forget about Hashem. Okay. But Mefarshim talk about, and my idea is, you kind of, if you bow down to things, you forsake what could have been yours. Meaning, if you bow down to Avodah Zara and not Hashem, Hashem wants to give Shefa. Hashem wants the ground to give good things. Hashem wants the stocks to do well and to rain, all these good things. But if you don't daven for it, it's stopping up there. So if you kind of waste your time and bow down to things that are not Hashem, or you do things that are not Torah-dik, and you don't daven for things, you are forsaking Chesed of Hashem. And that's kind of really the lesson of Yonah and the fish. Yonah and the fish. as he's saying, I'm on the boat, and those people bowing down to other things, and and unfortunately, and actually, what happens? They pull him off the boat, and I guess Yonah doesn't know this, but the people are saved, and they bring karbanos to Hashem. So Yonah doesn't know that. He thinks he's in the fish, and he's thinking, boy, those people back. He's probably thinking those people back in the boat. What a stupid thing they did. They bow down to Avodah Zarah. They throw me above. They throw me. Yonah maybe doesn't know what happens to these people. The people, Yonah, according to this tefillah, in his own tefillah, his own words, he's sinking down. He's at the bottom of the ocean, and he gets swallowed by the fish. He has no idea what happened to that boat there. But the truth is, they daven eventually, and they're saved, and they bring karbanos. And this is maybe the lesson, or one of the takeaways of Yonah, with tying with this parsha, and a good time from Yom Kippur to Shmini Atzeres, Simchas Torah, and Sukkot. If you approach Yom Kippur and all these things the wrong way, then you look at water, you look at the brachas of Sukkot, you look at these things, and you don't really, it doesn't do much for you. You don't really ask, you don't daven for it. It rains, that's teva. It snows, it's teva. Earthquakes, food, the farms, that's all teva. And you miss these things because, again, you're not focused in it. You're kind of focusing on different things. You're bowing down to other things. You kind of attribute the good things of Hashem, the messengers of Hashem, to other things. Then you know what? You're going to miss the shefa. It's not going to happen for you. If you don't daven for things, if you think, the work, I got daven for work. That's me and my boss. That's me and my recruiter. Well, if you believe that, then Hashem's going to miss this. The shefa's not going to come down and hit you. You may have a rough year. Therefore, if you bow down to things and you serve things that are wasteful, you're going to forsake chesed. And perhaps this is the lesson, like I said, we have to daven for the small things. They were so happy to see water. Again, that was a big deal in irrigation. Really, those days, desalination, they had to daven like crazy. You had droughts all the time. You lived in a place, and they were all farmers. So it wasn't like you go to you didn't need water just for water and drinking and bathing. You need water to grow your stuff. Without that, you're screwed. So you really need a lot of water. And hopefully we kind of get that idea as we pass Yom Kippur, and we thank Hashem not just for the big things, but for the small things, for water. And hopefully we appreciate and we daven properly for water. And when Shana Rabbah comes out, we really spend the day davening for water. We shake the Arava. And hopefully we have a year and all the messengers of Hashem, sun, the moon, clouds, the ground, all of it serves to help us, and we have a real year of bracha and shefa. And with that, Shabbat Shalom.